guys, my name is Kimberly Gascon from BSCE 3C. So for today, i-explain ko sa inyo yung shooting method for ODE or ordinary differential equation. So for the problem solving one, I have an example of 2 squared y over dx squared minus 2y is equals to 8x times 6 minus x. So y of 0 is equals to 0 and y of x is equals to 0. So we will use Euler's method with step size with a height of 2. Then we will assume y prime of 0 is equals to 4. Then y of 0 is equals to 0. So d squared y over dx squared is equals to f of x, y, and dy over dx. So d squared over y, d squared y over dx squared is equals to 2y plus 8x times 6 minus x, where y of 0 is equals to 0 and y prime of 0 is equals to 4. So dy over dx is equals to z, and dz over dx is equals to 2y plus 8x times 6 minus x. So as you can see, there is a number 1 solution, or pwede natin gamitin to solve this problem. So y sub I plus 1 is equals to y sub I plus f sub 1 times x sub I, y sub I, and z sub I times height. Then the second equation is z sub I plus 1 is equals to z sub 1 plus f sub 2 times x sub I, y sub I, z sub I times height. So for the I is equals to 0, for the first one, y sub 1 is equals to y naught plus f sub 1 times x naught, y naught, z naught times height. Then z sub 1 is equals to z naught plus f sub 2 times x naught, y naught, and z naught times height. So we have given x naught equals 0, y naught is equals to 0, and z naught is equals to 4. Yung kanina nating inassume. Then h is equals to 2. So this equals to 2. So y sub 1 is equals to x sub naught, which is 0, plus z naught, which is equals to 4, times the height, which is 2, is equals to 8. Then z sub 1 is equals to z naught, which is 4, plus 2 times z naught is equals to 0, plus 8 times x naught is equals to 0, and x minus 0 times 2. So z sub 1 is equals to 4 plus 0 times 2 is equals to 4. So we have y sub 1, which is 8, and z sub 1 is equals to 4. So we will move to the next step, which is I is equals to 1. So y sub 2 is equals to y sub 1 plus f sub 1 plus times x sub 1, y sub 1, z sub 1 times height. Then z sub 2 is equals to z sub 1 plus f sub 2 times x sub 1, y sub 1, z sub 1 times height. So given x sub 1, which has given of x sub 1 is half of x naught, which is 0, plus height, which is 2, is equals to 2. Then y sub 1 is 8, and z sub 1 is 4. So for the next, so we will use again the number 1 solution. equation, so y sub 2 is equals to 8 plus 4 times 2 is equals to 16. Y sub 2 is equals to 4 plus 2 times 8 plus 8 times 2 times 6 minus 2 times 2, which is z sub 2 is equals to 4 plus 80 times 2 is equals to 164. So y sub 2 is equals to 16. So y prime of 0 is equals to 4. The result is y sub 6 is equals to 16, which is we need to find that y sub 6 is equals to 0. We need to know the value of y prime of 0 na magiging value ng y sub 6 is 0. So d squared y over dx squared minus 2y is equals to 8x times 6 minus x. So y of 0 is equals to 0. Y of 6 is equals to 0. So we still assume y prime of 0 is still 4. So we will use again Euler's method with a height of 2. So y sub 2 is equals to 16. Result here. So yun yung result ng y sub 6. So we will assume again na yung y prime of 0 is equivalent to negative 12. So go through the steps of Euler's method, which is I is 0, 1, 2, and value of x sub I is 0, 3, 6, and value of y sub I 0, negative 24, negative 48, and z I is equals to negative 12, then blank. So we will use again the Euler's method. So y squared is equals to negative 48. So y squared is equals to negative 48. So y prime of 0 has an equivalent of p naught, which is 4, and p sub 1, which is negative 12. Then y sub 2, which is y of 6, which has equivalent of q naught 16 and q1 negative 48. So we will use the formula of p is equals to p naught plus p sub 1 minus p naught over q1 minus q naught times q minus q naught, which is q naught is less than or equal to q, but q is less than and equal to q sub 1. So p, we will substitute p is equals to 4 plus p1 negative 12 minus 4 over negative 48 minus 16 times q, which is equivalent to 0 minus 16. So the value is 0. So y of 16. So we will know that the value we needed is y primes of 0 is equals to negative 48 in order for us to have y of 6 is equals to 0. Thank you.